You remember this guy? This Charlotte-Mecklenberg police officer named Henry Chapman, who was caught on camera by an arrestee stealing $900 of his neatly and intentionally bundled money? Well, he's a convicted felon. He pled guilty a couple months back. Or did he? Let's talk about it. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Southern Draw Law. My name is James White, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, former police officer. So if you're new to my channel, or honestly, if you make up anything other than my original, probably like 3,000 to 5,000 subscribers, you may not have ever even seen this video because it doesn't have very many views. And I did it about a year ago, but there was, I think Lackluster did it, and there was quite a bit of coverage about it. But there was a Charlotte-Mecklenberg police officer named Henry Chapman who basically was in the process of transporting someone named Mr. Moon, who had been stopped by a motorcycle officer in Charlotte. And when Mr. Moon was stopped, he was run for warrants, and it turned out he had a federal marshal's warrant outstanding for him. And at the time, Mr. Moon had something like $8,000 worth of cash on him. And so obviously, you don't stick an arrestee on the back of your motorcycle. I mean, maybe some places in Tennessee you might, but you don't do it in Charlotte-Mecklenberg Police Department. So they called for another car to transport. And when, the other car that showed up was this Henry Chapman. And so in the process of all that happening, Chapman gets to where he's going through the personal inventory of things that this person has, and he comes across this big bundle of cash. Well, Moon essentially says that he hears the rubber band pop on the cash, and he knows that Chapman is messing with his money. And so we basically have Bodycam that, of course, Charlotte-Mecklenberg fought tooth and nail to keep from releasing, but ultimately they lost the battle and they had to release the footage. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a throwback to younger and cooler James White, who was cool enough to have his hat on backwards in the original video, but no sense in rehashing all the issues. We're just going to watch the video to sort of refresh your memory, and then we'll come back and talk about the new development. Let's check it out.
Yeah, the necklace. All right, I'm going to count your money in front of you, okay?
Here's big money. I'll put this in the bag for you, okay? Yeah, here. Here you go.
I got you.
Yeah, she's counting it right now.
You're going to watch me, okay?
I heard the rubber band get shot. Okay. Check it out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
Question you.
Let me count it first.
No, can you look in between his legs real quick? Well, I think he just put some more money in between his legs.
How much money did you have on you? I'm asking.
I haven't touched it. Can you just check in between his legs?
Sir, listen to me.
He's moving and everything. Look, he's moving.
Sir, I'm good.
Sir, listen to me. Tell me how much cash you had on you. What was the amount?
I just want to see. I'm not gonna lie. Can you check? I'm not going nowhere. Can you check your fellow officer for me, please?
Working at.
Hell no. He just touched me. I heard the rubber band pop. He told me, oh, I had to. Look, and he's moving. He's moving in between his legs.
Sir, stand right here.
I'm gonna stand right here, but can y'all please check y'all fellow officer? Please. What's going on? Look, he's moving his arm right now.
How much cash did you have on you?
Can you check your hands?
I didn't.
Can you check your people? Because he's touching.
Yeah. Tell me what's the total amount.
Look at his hand. He's tucking money. He's tucking money right in his right hand.
Tell me how much money you
He's
had on
tucking
you.
money. He's tucking my money. That's a problem. Can y'all check him?
Hey,
Listen to me. What was your total
And
cash?
he's telling her, no, don't check him.
Listen.
Look at him moving. He's moving. Oh my God. Y'all not gonna check him?
Listen.
Look
Chill
at him.
out.
Listen. Tell me.
I've been cooperating
Let me tell
with
you
you guys the whole time. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not going to allow anybody to take your money.
Look at him. He's moving.
But look at me.
Look at
me. If someone takes your money, it will be a big problem, all right? No one's going to take your money. I can see his hand. I can see exactly what he's doing. No one's gonna take your money. She's gonna count your money. There's more money.
Watched him touch my money. And you
There's
guys
more
didn't
money
even
in here.
check it.
You're saying that there's more money in here?
But what I'm saying is
Let me ask you a question. Answer my question. Are you saying that there's more money in here?
what I'm saying is he just touched my money and went through 3 different floor compartments, and I seen him put it in between his legs. I heard my rubber band. I've been nothing but cooperative with you guys. All I wanted you guys to do is...
watch.
I'm saying, but he already moved and did a lot of different stuff.
Okay, come sit over here.
But y'all already let him move, like, there's no way. Like, watch. That's crazy. I can't believe y'all just did me like this.
How much cash do you have on you total so I can count it out and we can verify if it needs menacing? That's what I'm asking you.
We
Do
can
you know
clear this
what
right
the
now.
total amount was?
No, I honestly don't. The money was for a bill. My wife gave it to me. The one that she tried to give me, I tried to give her the money. He said, don't give it to her.
Okay.
Because I went to Wendy's. I got a Wendy's receipt right.
But do you know how much cash you had on you so I can count it out so we can verify the total? Do you know approximately how much you had on you?
If I say a number and I get it wrong because he touched the money, then it's going to be all wrong. But I just don't understand why I heard my rubber band being popped.
I just grabbed it from the seat to give to her.
That's not what you just told me either, boss.
I did. That's what I did. And I handed her the
I'm not going to lie, boss.
envelope.
Have I gave you any problems?
No, sir, you have not.
That's all I want to ask. I just don't understand why y'all could, like, I'm not going, I sit on my face. I'm not going nowhere. I just want to.
I'm asking you what your total was so we can count it out. You can watch me count
I'm
it out.
not sure. I'm
and
distraught.
we can
It's a lot.
verify.
It's a lot going on. I didn't even know I had a warrant. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to like.
So if you.
What's it called? I'm trying to like just like comply with you guys.
I got
but
you.
That just doesn't make sense to the point where like I just watched him. Me and you both watched him move his hands. I watched him tear up. I watched him look at you and tell him like look at you and tell you no, you're not about to. I just watched him do way too much when I haven't been nothing but nice and compliant to you guys. You feel what I'm saying? I'm trying to go along with you guys' protocols and everything. All I've done was ask questions so I know how like to make sure I'm safe and my family can find me and stuff. And it's like I
and
know.
that's why I was asking you what your total was so we can sit here and count it out.
But
and we
they
can
would've-
verify that it's correct.
It would just help me more seeing that you would have checked him. It's like it's simple.
But did you not see me walk over here?
I did see that, sir. But at the end of the day, none of y'all, like none of you guys' body cam is on. Like I know.
Mine is on right now.
But I know for a fact what I seen and what I heard. And then when I asked him why was he like popping the rubber band on the money, he said I was just making sure something. But there's no need to make sure. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's my property. You feel what I'm saying? And I know for a fact the money was touched. But it's a million compartments.
Yes, I did touch it when I grabbed it out of the seat.
I understand. So I don't want to argue with you, Mr. Chapman. I just know what.
No, sir.
Okay, so what I typically do is count out everybody's
You can count
money
it
in
again,
front
but
of
I'm
them
not gonna lie
so
to
you can
you.
see that it's accurate.
The money was altered before.
So when I turn it over to property, you can verify that the total we're counting out now is the total that you're going to get back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Are you good with me doing that right now?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can tell me, do you have any kind of idea about how much you would say you had
I
on
do,
you?
but I'd rather you count it first, so I just know in my head.
But if you tell me afterwards that it's missing, that doesn't verify.
But if you
know what
guys
I'm
would have
saying?
stopped him
If
within
you
the whole,
tell me
if you
how
guys
much
would
it
have,
was now, I can count it and we can verify if it's missing. Okay?
I understand what you're saying, ma'am, and I appreciate everything. But I feel like you guys don't understand what I'm saying. But it's okay. I'm not tripping. You can count it out. I just like you counting it out right now would just let me know exactly how much you took. But I'm not tripping anything. I'm not trying to cause any problems or any Miss Casperson. Miss Casperson. I'm not trying to cause any problems. I just know what I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. I heard the rubber band pop. I seen him fiddling. He did not just keep his hands up the whole time. Like no, I didn't. He didn't open the door and say, "You can search me." Look, you know what I'm saying? I heard my money. I'm a very great businessman. I just paid bills a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? I just know for a fact that he touched my money. And then he was adamant about not giving my money to my wife or the cameraman that was with me. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, "No, you're gonna keep the money on you," which wasn't a problem. You know what I'm saying? But him touching the money prior to just putting it in I've been listening the whole time. He asked for a small envelope. He didn't put the money in there then. He asked for it just doesn't make sense. But you can do your job. I'm not trying to postpone or cause a problem. I just want to see how much is missing out at this point.
I want to count in front of you so
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can see how much that you have, okay? 7.
7,000. 7,000.
20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. 7, 190.
It's around like 13, 14 minutes.
Okay, so we have it documented that you're saying that, okay? Yeah. So you see me putting it all in here. What are we saying? 190, right?
So I wasn't saying that you altered my mood.
No, I didn't say you said that, okay? Alright. But I said I wanted to count it out in front of you so you can see how much is in there, because when we turn this over to the sheriff's office, it's then going to go to the marshals, that's going to go to the next sheriff's office. So this is us verifying that we're putting all your money in here.
Can you write my name on there also? Can y'all like I don't know the protocol was that, but like can y'all check y'all like his person? Because like if anything is on him,
Look,
like
sir.
it would be in big. No, I don't
Look, I'm gonna show you right here. Look at me. Look at me.
All of you guys probably have kids out here. You know what I'm saying?
Look.
So look, this is all I want to explain to you guys. Most of the time, when somebody when somebody knows for a fact they didn't do anything, they're not finna just, you feel what I'm saying, like let you search them. And I don't have kids, you feel what I'm saying? But I know how that goes because my mom did foster care. So I'm like up to par with all of that. And on top of that, if I didn't do anything, like how me and you been talking the whole time,
Yes,
just
sir.
like how me and you was talking the whole time, if I didn't do anything, I have nothing that I'm worried about, you feel what I'm saying? There would be no reason for him to show me his pockets and stuff. Like I know for a fact.
No, I want you to feel
Comfortable. I would have
Yes, yes, sir.
felt comfortable if your colleagues would have searched you at the exact time where I knew where the money was, because I seen you kept going in between your legs, and then every time everybody put all of the attention on me, you kept moving. I don't know if it's in your door, I don't know where it's at, but just like look, I don't even care to find the money, but how you know for a fact.
Look.
Right.
Come here. Come here. I'm telling you.
I want you to hold
to come
so
here.
you know that.
Okay. Do you see anything?
No, yeah, look, no cap. I'm not even gonna touch it. It's blue hundreds right here. It's all the blue hundreds are right there behind that receipt. Thank you. All that's my money. He didn't have that.
This is your money?
Yes, I heard him crumble it up. Thank you. All that's
That ain't my
recorded,
money.
right? That's my money. That's my money right here.
Sir, you've been watching me the whole time.
I seen you take it. I seen you crumble it
Sir,
up. Just
that
count
is
it.
not me.
If I'm right, it's gonna be around $1,000. If I'm right, and like I told you, I just went to Wendy's. I seen you still.
No, sir.
If you don't mind, I just want to sit down so y'all don't try to. I don't want to do nothing. All I know for a fact is I know what I know and I see it. I just wanted you guys to trust me. That's why I was just acting a little irate, but I'm perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to expose you.
That is not me, bud.
Brother, I just seen you steal my money. It was no
No,
reason for you
sir.
to pop my rubber band, brother. It was no reason for you to pop my rubber band off my money.
I didn't pop your rubber band off your money.
I heard it. Me and you just spoke about it. You heard him agree to it when I first got. I said, I heard you did rubber band. You said, oh, I had to do something. It's okay. It's okay. I know. I just witnessed here today. Mr. Chapman went in my money. He separated my money. He was trying to steal it, and I caught him. He put it in between his legs, and as his colleagues approached me, he worked it towards the door. He tried to make it seem like I was lying. I'm not going anywhere.
No,
I'm in full custody of these officers. I'm being detained. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want any problems. I'm not armed. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just pulled over for a traffic stop. He just tried to steal some of my money.
Okay, we're hearing you, but there's no need to say all of
No,
that.
I was just looking at the camera. No, I just know how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cause.
My camera's on the entire time. Alright, so let's take it down a notch.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
We're good here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So like this is what's gonna happen, all right? We have people coming in. Obviously, they have to talk to you, all right? So, I'm going to hold on to your weapon right quick, okay?
Yep. Go ahead. Just take the whole holster off. It's one of them.
QRS. Sergeant Burke and one of his detectives will come and speak to you, all right? So just chill out, relax. Do you need anything?
No, I just want to apologize to everyone I see, man. One of these things, dude. And I'm sorry.
Right here, brother.
Yeah.
Anything to drink or anything?
No. Just want to say I'm sorry.
Well, we're gonna walk out of here and close the door, okay, until they get there, okay, buddy?
All right. Let me know if you need anything. All right.
I'm good, Sarge. I appreciate it.
The reason he was charged with embezzlement and not theft is because probably, my guess is, embezzlement is a felony and theft under $1,000 in most places is a misdemeanor. And this was a $900 amount. So it probably would have been a misdemeanor under North Carolina law. But also theft, in almost every case, comes with it an essential element called the intent to permanently deprive. Now, you and I both know that when you separate $900 from an $8,000 stash of money and you tuck it away and hide it in your door pocket, that you probably have the intent to permanently deprive. And I have no doubt that ultimately a jury would have found him guilty, because this is not one of those cases where they give police officers a pass. There's no innocent reason for this, no innocent explanation for this. But it's important to understand that the state has to prove every single element of every case beyond a reasonable doubt. And so in a theft case, you have to prove what the person's specific mental state was, whereas embezzlement does not. And the video that I just showed you a piece of in order to sort of catch you up to speed, that was a 27-minute video where I did an entire breakdown of the actual law and talked about what I thought was going to happen. So if you're interested in the breakdown and all the elemental stuff of embezzlement, you can go back and watch the whole video in its entirety, and I do some analysis on body language and behavior and that kind of stuff. And I think it would be something that you'd be interested in. But if you're not, just for the sake of brevity, let's just suggest that embezzlement basically means that if you receive money or some property because you're in a position of trust, like a police officer, and then you do something to convert that money to your own use, regardless of whether or not you intended to permanently deprive the owner of it, that categorizes that offense as an embezzlement, and that is a felony under North Carolina law. So Henry Chapman ultimately pled guilty on an offered plea to felony embezzlement and received a probation sentence of 2 years. Now, I generally try to stay updated on the cases that I mentioned, but for whatever reason, this one got away from me. This actually happened several months back, but I didn't realize it. I just happened to be going through some old stuff and looked, and I was like, wonder whatever happened to that case, and here we are. But point is, Chapman pled guilty, but he pled guilty with a bit of a caveat. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about the differences between a guilty plea, an offered plea, ALFORD, and a no contest plea or nolo contendere. So when a person pleads guilty, they just plead straight up and they say, I'm guilty, right? When a person pleads no contest or nolo contendere, they say, I'm not going to say one way or the other. I'm going to remain silent on this issue, and whatever happens, happens. And both of those are considered guilty under the law. But the difference is when you plead guilty straight up, if you have like a companion civil case, maybe like the O.J. Simpson matter, where you're being sued for the death of somebody, if O.J. had pled guilty, obviously not only would he have life in prison, but he would have also conceded the liability on the civil claim. A nolo contendere or no contest plea sometimes will allow the person to avoid liability on the civil action, but still be found guilty for the purposes of criminal. An offered plea is somewhere in the middle. And it actually presents a unique opportunity because this case actually came from the state of North Carolina, which is where Mr. Chapman was a police officer. And so we're going to look at the North Carolina case of Alford. So the case was North Carolina versus Alford, and that was a 1970 case that was decided by the United States Supreme Court. The defendant was Henry Alford, and he was charged with first-degree murder and facing the death penalty if he was convicted at trial. And Alford was indicted for killing a man with a shotgun blast to the head. Multiple witnesses had said that Alford had threatened to kill the victim, and he was later seen with a gun. Alford maintained his innocence throughout, but acknowledged that the state probably had the evidence against him that was strong enough to ultimately convict him. And his defense attorney advised him to plead guilty to second-degree murder to avoid the death penalty. And in so doing, there was this sort of dispute as to whether or not he could plead guilty without admitting guilt. Because generally speaking, when you do a guilty plea, so if I have a client who's going to plead guilty to an offense, the judge will ask them on the record, are you guilty to the thing that you're pleading to? And many times, at least in Tennessee, what they'll do is they'll have the district attorney read some sort of summation of the facts of a case. You know, the defendant was at this place at this time, and he did knowingly and intentionally kill this person. And then he'll ask the defendant, do you understand that if the state brought a case to trial, this is what they would have to prove? And are those facts substantially true to the best of your knowledge? And so the defendant then has to say yes. And so the judge will say, you know, as part of their court sort of plea colloquy, are you guilty to the thing that you're being charged with? Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty, or has someone threatened, coerced you, or whatever? And generally speaking, in order for a judge to accept a person's plea of guilty, the person has to accept responsibility for the actual crime. But this case changed that a bit. And I've been personally involved in cases where we have a plea worked out and the person very obviously did it, and the evidence is very strong. And then you get up in front of the judge and the judge asks those questions and the person says, well, I pled guilty because the prosecutor said this, or the prosecutor was trying to put me to death, or whatever. And in this particular case, Alford says, well, I just pled guilty because they said if I didn't, they would gas me for it. I ain't shot no man. And so the trial judge accepted the plea and sentenced Alford to 30 years in prison. Now, that guilty plea was appealed to the Supreme Court, and basically the theory was, well, I told the judge I was innocent, but he still accepted my guilty plea. And the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, said no, a trial court can accept a guilty plea from a defendant who says they're innocent as long as a couple conditions are met. Number one, the defendant makes the plea voluntarily and intelligently, and number two, there's strong evidence of actual guilt. The court went on to say that an individual accused of a crime may voluntarily, knowingly, and understandingly consent to the imposition of a prison sentence, even if he is unwilling to accept or admit his participation in the acts constituting the crime. And so that case gave rise to this idea that you actually can maintain your innocence while acknowledging that the state has enough evidence to convict you, and sort of some middle ground. And that's what Chapman ultimately did here. But the best part of this particular case, and the one that I know will make you guys all happy, is that even though he's not going to prison, which we talked about in the original video, he didn't have any sort of criminal record that we know about because all of his crimes were committed behind the badge, because I suspect this guy was way too comfortable with just thieving $900 in cash from an arrestee to have just been doing this all of a sudden and for the first time. So I think there was probably many more instances where that was the case. But essentially, he's a convicted felon. He's got 2 years of probation. If he messes up on probation, he will be going to prison. But the most important thing is that in exchange for his plea negotiation and allowing an offered plea, he agreed to relinquish his North Carolina law enforcement post-certification. And so he will never be a police officer again. In closing, I just saw the update in the last couple weeks, wanted to bring it to you guys because I do try to keep you informed as things change about the cases that I cover. And look, ultimately, this is a win. He actually did get convicted of the thing he was charged with, and it was exactly within the scope of the law that he broke, which is not something that you often see in situations where police officers are criminally charged. Now, one thing that I've started to do is I've started to write companion blogs to the videos that I make over on Substack. And a lot of times that'll be just people bringing up stuff in the comments that I didn't really consider, or maybe after I've watched the video back and I've sat with the way that I chose to approach it or frame it to the audience, I have some other thoughts that I thought I should have included. And so what I do is I write a companion blog generally about 24 hours later in order to address those issues. And I do that over on Substack. So I'd like to invite you to come over to the Substack community. It's absolutely free to join. You can join on a paid tier if you'd like to, but that's only for people who just want to support the channel monetarily. If you don't like reading blogs and you don't want to follow me to another platform, but you do want to support the channel monetarily, I'll put my Venmo and PayPal links both here on the screen as well as in the description. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment on the video. Check out some of the other videos on the channel and leave a comment on there as well. Until I see you again, take care. Always film your interactions with the police and keep your evidence to yourself.